Hi, I'm Fred Earnest, President and CEO of Vista Gold Corp.
Fred, good to see you here. We're in Colorado Springs. It's a pretty packed meetings over there. I bet you're having a nice time here.
We are having a really good time. We had just a really busy week last week in precious metals up at Beaver Creek, and we've got a packed schedule here at
it's amazing
in Colorado Springs.
I mean, the gold price is doing a lot, obviously, for gold companies, but also for everyone else at the moment. The mood is positive.
It really is. Yeah, no, there's just a lot of things that have come together. It's just a perfect time for us.
Yeah, and well, it's the secret of comedy and mining, timing. So,
it's all about timing.
So let's get into it. Maybe just do the setup first in terms, because we saw you back in March. Obviously, a lot happened since then. We'll get into that, but maybe for people new to the story, give us the kind of broad brushstrokes.
Yeah, so we have the Mt Todd Gold Project. It's the second largest undeveloped gold project in Australia, the largest gold project in undeveloped gold project in Australia, not owned by a producer. And we've just in July announced the results of a feasibility study that represents a smaller and a completely fresh view of how to develop the project, and really happy with the results.
Size isn't everything. You know, we got to get this to point, because I think the issue you had previously was that it was a super big project, and you've still got the optionality of going there, but to get this thing funded and get off the ground, I think a lot of companies have recognized the need to get the money flowing. So that's what you've done. So maybe, can you talk about some of the numbers around that in terms of the IRRs, etc.?
Absolutely. You know, previously we were thinking about Mt Todd as a 50,000 ton per day operation. It had a little more than $1 billion Capex.
Yep.
And you know, we've redesigned it at 15,000 tons a day.
Yep.
We've achieved a 59% reduction in initial Capex. The Capex is now estimated to be $425 million US. With that, you know, we've been able to stabilize the production profile. We expect that with this smaller operation that we'll be able to produce 153,000 ounces of gold per year.
Not too shabby.
Average over the first 15 years of the life of the project. We've prioritized grade over tons.
Yeah.
You know, previously we were interested in mining everything that was higher than 0.35. Now we've raised the cutoff to 0.5 grams per ton.
Yeah.
And with that, we've achieved a 23% improvement in the reserve grade. And we still have a project that's larger than 5 million ounces. Just been a lot of things. That you know, just on the number side, that's been one of the big changes. Is you know, lower capex, better grade. It's translated into great economics. We used a $2,500 gold price for the study, and our NPV 5 is 1.1 billion with almost 28% IRR. If we run it at $3,300, which here we are sitting here today, and we're almost $3,700. You know, still got more room, but at $3,300, the NPV is $2.2 billion and almost 45% IRR. So, really good numbers, really solid numbers, and you know, there's some other structural changes in the design of the project that we've incorporated as well.
Yeah, and like you say, there's optionality in terms of going to go bigger later, but I guess in that scenario, you'd hope that could be self-funded. Let's talk about how you take advantage and set yourself up for success in a market like this, because you know it'll be here hopefully for a long time, but in case it's not, you kind of got to get through those phases. What are in terms of order of priority, things that you need to set up? Is it just understanding, is the money there first? Is that number one for you?
Well, you know, first of all, you know, we've designed the project so that it could be built efficiently in Australia, and you know, that's some of the structural changes. We've incorporated contract mining and you know, fit for purpose design and a fly-in fly-out workforce. So those things make it look more appealing to you know, the Australian investment community. Yeah. So the options that we have in front of us really simply are, you know, one is joint venturing the project. Yep. We've always thought that was an attractive option, but now there's more companies that actually could be a joint venture partner. Right. Second is that, you know, we recognize that maybe companies might take a liking to the project but don't want to have a partner. And if there's an offer on the table to, you know, for a corporate or a project level transaction, we'll consider that. Third is, you know, kind of what we've been talking about is you know, if we develop it ourselves. Now, probably before we go out and say is the money there to develop it ourselves, is we've got to add some corporate capability. Right. we don't have a team in Australia today to advance the project either on a joint venture or a standalone basis, and so we're going to be looking to add some key people to our team in Australia that can recognize as mind builders, people who can be the leaders of the organization in Australia to build Mt Todd, and then the money side will follow from that, because you get the right people, money follows people.
Absolutely. Well, it's the place to be. There's imagine a big pool to pull from over there. In terms of if we look at the feasibility study, obviously we've been through the numbers, but in terms of more work that you need to do, I know there's some optionality set up for you, but in terms of like moving that forward and decreasing the risk, increasing the certainty, what do you need to focus your money on?
There's really just a couple of things that have come out of the feasibility study that we might undertake, and they're really some small amounts of work that will aid detailed engineering and design.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of metallurgical test work that we think needs to be done to aid in the final equipment selection as part of the design. On the mining side, there's been some questions raised that we want to have answered with regards to the geotechnical aspects of the pit on the west side of the pit, and so a little bit of drilling and geotechnical testing there, but nothing that's going to really big game-changing things, but just some things to kind of dot the I's and cross the T's.
Right.
Those things will happen as we progress closer to detailed engineering.
Yep.
But the feasibility study really confirmed the work that we've done previously, even with a fresh set of eyes and new engineers looking at it.
Yeah.
Yeah, really happy to the way things have held up and held together.
Also, pretty strong that side of the equation. When you sort of looked, obviously the Australian market is really powering ahead at the moment. Gold companies powering ahead at the moment. You've got a bunch of very happy CEOs, along with yourself, telling their story next door. Do you kind of see yourself moving more towards the kind of joint venture version or the sale version of these options?
Right now we're pushing all options down the track together.
Right. Okay.
And the market is going to tell us which option is going to be the best for us.
Right.
But certainly there's some elements in common between forming a joint venture and building it ourselves, and that's on the people side again.
Right.
So that's building that corporate capability is an important element in both sides of this. But ultimately at the end of the day, I don't have a strong preference, but what I really want to accomplish is value realization for shareholders.
Right, okay. And you happy to kind of keep this as the kind of number one flagship priority for you, or again, in an environment like this, lots of people talking the good game of maybe helping out some other kind of cash-constrained companies realize their potential and looking at M&A as an option for you. Where's the focus?
Well, right now, today, broadly increasing awareness of Mt Todd.
Right.
I mean, we had a 93-cent share price the day we published the results of the feasibility study in July. Yesterday we closed at 217, and we've seen a tremendous uptick in our share price in the last week and a half.
Yeah.
And I think that's just the manifestation of this effort to get in front of people, explain the story, tell them where we're at, and help them understand that we've got options, and that we're laying the groundwork to walk through either door A, B, or C, hopefully within the next 6 months.
It's kind of interesting, actually. It's not just a case of, it's really good times. Gold price is high. It can take credit for everything. It's done all the heavy lifting, but also that change in business plan. Back in the day in tougher markets. Do you kind of see that as probably the smartest thing that you did?
I've told others. I began my presentation yesterday by saying, every once in a while there's a set of circumstances that arise that people who are aware of what is changing are able to make some very significant changes that create value for their shareholders. And I think that we recognized, and we made one of those decisions last December when we started this feasibility study. I had no idea that the gold price was going to be $3,600
no one did.
when we published it.
Was it $2,000 or so then, right?
But I mean, it's proving to be a very important and strategically critical decision that we made, that we're reaping the benefit from today.
Absolutely. So I just come back to on the team side of things, because obviously you're based over here in North America. You got a Western Aussie project, which is of a certain size. how easy is it to actually go and hunt for the right people to do what you need to do and manage them from over here? And does that give us a kind of clue as to,
we're actually already in conversations with some individuals, and we've identified others that we want to talk to.
Yeah. Okay.
There are people with recognized mine builders who are available in Australia right now, and so it's all about finding the right chemistry, the right fit. But I mean, it's a crucial part of this. We've got to have a team that we know we can trust and work with,
right?
And that we're all on the same page.
Right. Okay. Well, it sounds like you're set up in terms of being able to talk to the money, in terms of that risk management component. You've been at the project proper for a while. Yeah. That change in kind of construct has maybe brought a few. It's made. It's giving you access to more types of different money as a result, because it's smaller, more manageable. But even so, in a market like this, are you getting anyone saying, "Hey, let's go with the big project again"? I've seen that.
Oh, there's
so
always
frustrating.
There's always those out there. I mean, you know, when we were promoting the big project, we had people say we'd never build a big project.
Yeah.
Now that we've promoted it, now we've designed a smaller project, we've got people saying, it's a little bit too small for us, but if we could expand it, we're interested. So
you don't just whip out the old feasibility from the back pocket.
The bottom line is that what we've done is we've bookended the project. We have tremendous optionality and flexibility. I mean, whether it gets built at 1,500 tons a day and expanded shortly thereafter, or whether it gets built at a slightly larger scale, all of it's on the table. But right now we're focused on this plan that's within reach for us.
Yeah, it's a nice place to be. It's been a tough ride for everyone. For the last, I'm going to go 10 years. Right, there are a few moments, but pretty much 10 years. It's been tough for juniors to think about how do you kind of move these things forward, how do you stay relevant, and quite frankly, where's the money at? But now we're here. Good times again, right? You happy? You don't look happy.
I'm absolutely happy. This is one of those. This is one of those opportunities that you hope comes along and things line up, and that you were smart enough to recognize it coming. And I recognize the contributions of the team, some key shareholders that have been pretty helpful in giving us advice and feedback, and we're in a good spot. Really happy to be here.
You are. Thank you very much, Fred.
Very good.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.